This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
RD, Razorback football got some good news. Couple commits and signs last week. Jaquinda Jackson, running back from Utah. Anton Junkaj from Albany. And then also Marquise Robinson from South Alabama. What did you make of the additions last week as we welcome you in this morning?
Well, Robinson is obviously the trend is going offensively is to go to bigger receivers, and trend defensively to try to match that. And Robinson is definitely a bigger cornerback. That's the one thing that really stood out to me when I saw him after his visit. He's a legitimate 6'2", 195, 200 pounds. I guess he could probably play a safety if needed too, just because of his size. But he just passes the eye test, and he was very productive at South Alabama. They went into Stillwater and beat the heck out of Oklahoma State. So they obviously had some talent, and he was one of the leaders on defense. And the guy that and I keep harping on it, but the first thing that I noticed was the size. He was listed like 6'1", about 184, but after seeing him, I could tell he was bigger.
One of the guys that a lot of Arkansas fans have kind of flocked to is Kendrick Blackshire. I remember seeing this kid, Duncanville, out of high school, and he looked like he was 22 years old, and he's big, 6'2", good weight on him, played and had some good success at Alabama at linebacker. Is reportedly getting looked at by Ole Miss, Texas, and any idea if Arkansas has potentially reached out? I think they're at a coaching convention this week too.
Yeah, but I think that's wrapped up. But no, there's been communication. What happens after that can't say, but there's communication. And one thing, obviously we talked about the January 3rd through the 7th window for transfers to be able to visit, but they can also visit this weekend or beyond. Arkansas's first day of the spring semester is the 16th, but the 22nd is the latest day that a midterm transfer can enroll at Arkansas. So there's plenty of time to still get guys on campus and visit, and then obviously enroll for the semester. But I do know that there's communication with him.
Richard Davenport with us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Richard, you probably get asked this. I got asked this question of the day, and I didn't have a solid answer to give him. How do they go about ranking these transfer portal classes? Is it ranking players based on their college performance to this point? Is it looking back at old recruiting rankings? How do you go about putting together and compiling transfer portal classes, and how one stands out over another?
Yeah, obviously you look at tape, you look at production of wherever they were, and some guys you just project because there's not some of them don't have the most tape, and that's kind of hard to really evaluate. But some of the guys that have a little bit of tape, you evaluate that. You just envision them, playing more and seeing what you see on film, and does that translate to more playing time at the new school? But as far as rankings, as far as team rankings, on three is a little different, and I wish they had it kind of different. But they rank the team classes by a combination of what you're bringing in and what you've lost. I wish they just did it based on what you're bringing in, and then you can have that other ranking where you have the incoming transfers and what you've lost. I would prefer them to have both, but they combine the two and come up with a team ranking, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I wish they would just separate that and just rank the guys that are coming in, and you have a better idea. But as far as the rankings of the guys individually, a lot of them obviously have played, and that's pretty easy to evaluate. But some of them, guys that have had, say, I don't know, 10, 15 tackles, you evaluate the film that you do have of them from there, and then make assessments with that. And obviously, I think with their background in high school too, and what they've done in high school and their ranking in high school, I think influences that too. It's somewhat of a guessing game when you're talking about guys that haven't had a lot of film.
Next hour, Arkansas offensive lineman Kobe Branham is going to join us, former Southside Maverick. He's reporting on Friday to campus to get ready. He's an early enrollee. There'll be others getting up there early. This is an interesting time as they're coming into a program that in transition with the offensive coaching staff. I'm sure we'll be talking with Kobe about new offensive line coach Eric Mateos and kind of how that relationship has developed or transitioned since the change from Cody Kennedy. But an important weekend, Richard, on campus is the early enrollees will be arriving and getting ready for the 8 weeks of off season ahead of spring practice.
Yeah, some of the transfers are already on campus, and the rest of them will be coming in the next few days. And then obviously you said the high school signees, all but I think 3 are early enrollees. So that's pretty impressive in itself, and that's just the trend nowadays. The vast majority of your guys are coming in at midterm and trying to go through off season, and obviously go through spring, and it gives them a heads up on other guys that are coming in later. But that's been the trend the last 10, 15 years, and it just seems to be increasing. And it also helps that, I mean, obviously it's more publicized, and kids coming up and parents, they see that, and then they start asking the coaches and counselors, hey, how can my son get his classwork in time to enroll early wherever he wants to go as a senior.
Richard, Ronnie Fouch, wide receiver coach, was announced earlier this week, coached under Bobby Petrino at both Louisville and Missouri State. What kind of moves and impact do you think he needs to make in his first year at the helm at Arkansas?
Well, I mean, recruiting, I mean, if you're talking about recruiting, I mean, the number one thing, you just have to be relentless and just stay in contact with guys. That's not always the case sometimes with some college coaches, and you just can't. If you want to recruit at a high level, you got to be develop those relationships, staying in contact, reaching out to kids 2 or 3 times a week, getting them on the phone at least once, and just develop those relationships and just being relentless. And I think that's the only way you're successful as a college coach in recruiting. And being a younger guy, I'm sure he's going to bring that type of energy. And also, like you said, with him working with Coach Petrino several times in his early part of his career, and him being a former college quarterback, I think also helps him. But if Coach Petrino hires you, or and Coach Pittman says, yeah, let's bring this guy on, you know this guy knows a little bit about football, and it also is just a good type working relationship with Coach Petrino, because obviously the receivers are a vital part of the offense and his philosophy.
Richard, last thing before we let you go, basketball question for you. Terrion Burgess had a really good game against Pine Bluff earlier this week. I know you were talking about that a little bit. Kind of where is Arkansas basketball with his recruitment, and where else do you think he's potentially looking to play college ball?
Arkansas and he are very strong. I mean, obviously he's going to keep his options open, but he's been to campus several, I think about 4. I was communicating with his dad recently, and he's been on campus about 5 times. Yeah, I could be off by 1 or 2, but that right there shows you a strong interest on his part, and it also shows that Arkansas is doing their part in trying to get him to campus. But I think he's a guy that is definitely an impact player as a freshman. His skill level is elite, in my opinion. But I think Arkansas is in good shape. He said that when he originally got the offer from Arkansas, he grew up watching them, and I think he's always been a fan. So as far as other schools, off the top of my head, I mean, obviously he's got many options, but no, I know I think he's visited Ole Miss and several others, but as far as where they are with him, I really couldn't tell you.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.